Yo guys, what's going on? It's Dcroft here, back for week 11, and this time we do have the Arizona Cardinals champion. We also have a two-time club champion on here today. This week's matchup is between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Super excited for this game. Coming off the Packers game, first game that Russ was back, did look a little bit rusty. Our defense is still looking really, really good though. But I'm just super excited to be able to play with this matchup in Madden because the Seahawks and the Cardinals probably are two of the better teams to use in Madden. So I can't wait to see how this game does end up playing out. And I do have a friend of mine, special guest, the last year's Arizona Cardinal Club champion, and then the year before he was the Bengals Club champion. Free the Penguins, also known as Nico, also known as Chicharito. How are you doing today?
What's going on, Dan? It's just a pleasure to be here playing with these Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, so the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about with you, Nico, is that, you have a lot of different names in Madden. You obviously have your actual name, Nico, but then you kind of go by two different, tags. One of them is Chicharito 5, and then the other one is Free the Penguins. And we've talked a little bit about, like, player names and everything. And you're one of the few people that I guess would have, like, multiple player names. What exactly was, like, behind, like, the Chicharito 5 origins and the Free the Penguins origins?
Um, well, like Chicharito 5 was Chicharito is a soccer player, but like me and my cousin, I never really before I got into Madden, which was a couple years ago, I never really played video games.
Hmm.
Like a whole lot, but I played here and there, like I played like Call of Duty and whatever. So me and my cousin would share an Xbox account,
Hmm.
and we were both into soccer, and we were both soccer fans, and like he loved Chicharito, so that was just the account, and then I never changed the gamer tag. He eventually stopped playing, and then I just got on it when I started playing Madden,
Hmm.
and yeah, that just kind of stayed. And then as far as Free the Penguins, I just thought of the wildest name I could possibly think of when I was gonna sign up for a Madden tournament, and there it was.
Yeah, so for me personally, in terms of what I call Nico, I'll actually probably call him Penguin the most. It's just kind of, we all have our names within Madden. My actual name is Daniel. I go by Dcroft, though. It's just kind of one of those things that when you're, having these names and you have to go to EA in one of these big tournaments, you're supposed to have like a specific stage name that isn't your actual name. And now, granted, there are people that do have like their name as their stage name too, but everybody has like a different story in terms of why that is their name. And I think for you, the Penguins is probably like one of the cooler names that I've seen. What about like other names that you like think of? In terms of like the Madden community, are there any that you can like think off the top of your head that's unique? That's pretty cool. For me, honestly, I
I'm
think it would have to be Ice, whose name is George, but he goes by Don't Care About Ice, which I think is one of the cooler names in the community.
yeah, George's is cool because there's like a whole like backstory that I didn't even know like about it, like with the streamer missing an ice kick and whatever. Like it's just so kind of like a meme
Hmm.
gamer tag. But I think I don't know. I like the like names, like just the names. Like the first one that comes to mind is like Wesley. Like Wesley goes by Wes now.
Hmm.
He used to be Joe Rice. Joe Rice is a cool one too because you
Yeah.
got Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. But
Hmm.
that's the first one that comes to mind. But I like just like the names. Like I like the names. I don't know. I can't really think of I think Drini's name is cool too,
Yeah.
because like and that's his name. Drini's just a cool ass last name, but
Oh,
oh, I got alert.
Ryan Neal would
But
go
yeah,
right there.
Ryan Neal.
No.
But yeah, no, I think Drini's a cool name.
Mhm.
They're like just a cool name in general, so it's a cool Madden name. But yeah, I don't know. It's not something I've really thought of.
Yeah, all these names have, backgrounds in terms of why they aren't picked. One of the names I was actually thinking of, that person that just goes by his name is Kiv. Obviously a person that I've competed against in Seahawks Club the past couple of years. He just goes by his name. When he had his stage name, he was probably one of the younger people in the entirety of the community at that point. So he just put young in front of his name, which I thought was kind of a neat thing.
No, it's without it. I also thought like rest in peace, like for sure, Spot Me. And I wasn't even playing Madden when like Spot Me was playing Madden, so I think that was a pretty cool name too.
Hmm.
Like Spot Me, basically like saying like spot me, like give me some points, like kind of making fun of that. So I definitely think that I definitely think there's plenty of cool names, but I mean that's just anything you'll find in gaming.
Hmm. Yeah, so obviously, while introducing you, you are a two-time club champion with two different teams. And, you are actually a Bears fan. For anybody that is wondering, when it came to the club championship and the club champion themselves, you didn't actually necessarily have to be a fan of that team to compete for them. You really could just compete for any team that you wanted to represent. So what exactly made you do Cardinals? Was it really anything about the team, or is it like one of
Benjamin just oh my god.
as you guys see, Benjamin right there, just running through
People over,
the
yeah.
defense right there.
But yeah, no, just I mean it's about matchups. Like it's there's a lot of money on the line, so it's like what you who you feel comfortable playing, what you feel comfortable doing, and obviously you don't want to do the same club as people you play with. And I'm sure they know like you're in TNC and like what TNC is. So I had to stay away from other people that would be in that Madden group because I played them, so I wouldn't want to play them
Yeah.
early, which would be for the club, so that impacts it. And then it's the matchup you'd want, who you feel like you'd want to play.
Hmm.
And then it sometimes it does factor into like I would never do the Packers because I'm a Bears fan, so like there's a
Yeah.
little football fandom that factors in. But yeah, I mean that's basically it.
Yeah, I think what Nico talked about there was it was actually like a really really good thing in terms of being able when Club Series was a thing, picking that your essentially like the way we looked at it as like competitive players, like each crew probably has like around, I don't know, I'd say like around 10
Like
like
between 8 and 15,
yeah, 8 to
somewhere in there.
15.
Like
I think
yeah.
that's like a fair estimate. I think we were probably on like the little bit of like the larger side for that. But the way we looked at it is that we were really trying to, not put any more than two people in the same division. Because Nico and I, we did end up actually playing in the club championship last year. And it was really just like our goals as like a crew to be able to like avoid like those early matchups as much as possible. For me, the TNC guys knew that I was always going to be doing Seahawks club no matter what, and just trying to like space all of each other out in terms of being able to not play early, because you guys do have to realize that this is the biggest Madden tournament of the year for us. It was essentially, I mean, one club series was a thing. I mean, it gave out over, was it like over 2 million by the end of it. Oh, Jamal, I need a hit right there.
Between everything probably, but I think last year, so the prize pool last year was like 1.3 million or something. I think clubs was 750 grand of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure because clubs have been around since before I was playing Madden.
Hmm.
And I mean, clubs is obviously the what was, I mean, no longer is the biggest tournament of the year. Um, so yeah, I mean, did I just get
Don't know how
intentional
that's
grounded?
intentional grounding.
Did I just get intentional ground?
I
Okay.
will not say no
Um,
to that.
yeah, yeah, but clubs. I forgot where I was. Club's biggest tournament of the
Yeah,
year,
clubs beast.
and we obviously we had to play. I mean, we played in a $10,000 Madden game.
Hmm.
And at that point, we had both made 15 grand, and that's just gonna happen when you get to late into a tournament. I mean, if you and your friends are winning, and ultimately that's what you want. You want both of your like everybody you talk to, everybody you play with to win.
Hmm.
That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and I think that actually brings like an interesting like dynamic in terms of when Madden, we're playing like one on one right now, and Madden is like a one on one esport. There's like squads and stuff where you can play with like multiple other different people, but Madden is a one on one esport. So when you're looking at this, granted it is only a one on one esport, you really are looking though for like a essentially like a team really would be, in my opinion, like the best way to describe it. And when we talk about crews, it's essentially like what a team is. And it's basically just like a group of friends, that like help each other get better and kind of like don't leak each other's secrets out. So like TNC specifically, like my crew, also my team, that type of stuff is helping us all get better at Madden. And for us, we want to see all of each other exceed, but there is always, the end of the day, it's going to come down to you to perform. And what actually ended up happening last year with Club Series is that the NFC, I think, had how many of us? It was five, right? Nico, me, you,
Yeah, in
Mud,
the AFC,
J
you had
Wall,
like two
Fonts,
or three.
TNC. Yeah, so there was actually
Yeah.
like a lot of matchups that ended up happening between TNC people Me and Nico played. I played Fancy, who was the Cowboys Club champions last year, who's also a TNC member, and then J Wall, who you guys saw earlier. We also played J Wall in that too. So you do try your best to be able in these tournaments to not match up early, play as late as possible. But sometimes it just can happen. We are some of the best players in the world, and it's just something that like can happen. Is that having us play each other is like a possibility at the end of the day. As Russ, come on, Eskridge.
Wayne Eskridge.
D.
Fitting it in.
No, I'm excited to see what D. Eskridge does for the rest of the year too. Coming back from that concussion week 1, playing in his first game since then this past week. I'm excited to see how he does end up playing this year. Hopefully we are able to get Carson back this week. I know this past week against the Packers, he had a chance to play. They said that they were going to potentially try his neck and see how everything felt, but the end of the day, it just sounded like they wanted to give him a little bit more time to recover from it. But yeah, Eskridge coming back last week, I think that third receiver position between him and Freddie Swain, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this year plays out with those two players. I really want to go up top to DK. I'm going up top to DK. DK!
He's got it. I don't know who that is.
DK!
Who is number 48?
Laser. I don't even know who number 48 is.
We're about to find out. I'm about to find out who just got for Nick Nelson. Whoever Nick Nelson is. Nick Nelson, you are not very good in Madden.
Super laser, though. Right there, right, Russ. And hopefully we are able to see more of that throughout this upcoming week. Russ missing his first ever games, this season. And a little bit of rust, I think, for him coming back in terms of, like, what he was able to do. And hopefully just as the, year goes on, he's able to keep progressing. Now, Nico, I wanted to talk to you like a little bit more about like Madden and kind of like the I guess like meta within Madden would be the way of putting it. So when you talk about like metas and stuff, essentially like what I mean is what exactly is like the high powered things that you guys are going to see right there. He actually goes up top and has a super laser right there. But you're seeing both of us in the gun bunch offense right now. And, a lot of people, when they see this, they think it's just us spamming, like, the same plays over and over again. But essentially, like, why is this, like, so good for both of us and why we're in it?
I mean, yeah, Bunch has been a meta for, like, since way before I've been playing Madden. I was playing Madden. And I mean, compression is almost always going to have better blocking than spread. If you played the game or watched the game at all last year, trips was the second best, if not the best formation, alongside Bunch. And then you ran U-trips, obviously, which is also a spread formation. So there are spread formations that work, but compression usually does give you better blocking and almost... I mean, really, I think it allows you to do more with your receivers via motion. So, like, beating match and things like that is always going to be a lot easier. And being man. And he just allows you to get into, like, simple route combos, like a flood concept. Like, there's a play called flood in the playbook or in the formation. And simple flood concepts like corner out as well with the flat and the streak or the streak to clear out. And then you also have the easy like high lows and like mills concepts like or mesh concepts like mesh post, mesh spot. Like you just have so many different like viable ways to attack different defenses, which I think are it's just the easiest. And why would you ever make things harder on yourself?
Oh my goodness, your wheel actually got open there.
Really open. He got really.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I thought it was gonna play a little bit better than it did there. But yeah, I think another thing about like Madden 2 in terms of like a difference from Madden in terms of real life too is when you're talking about like real life. Oh, okay. Get another grounding. We need that to be grounding again. But when talking about the like differences in terms of like real life like football and like Madden, I think like one of the big differences is when it comes to like scheming up blitzes. And when it comes to like scheming up blitzes within Madden specifically, I would definitely say like a lot easier in terms of being able to get that like pressure against like multiple people multiple people blocking. And in the NFL, it's a little bit different in terms of you can really like rely on a four-man pass rush if they're good enough. An elite edge defender is going to be able to generate pressure himself. For Madden specifically, you want to be able to generate pressure, probably like sending like four or more than four people, like five or six people, and really trying to send like these different types of just blitz looks. And we're going to be able to hold. Oh,
Benjamin with 2 seconds left.
Benjamin's able to get in at the last play at half. Huge play right there for Nico to essentially
I
keep
don't
his
know how.
hopes
I don't know how he
alive
did.
in this game. But yeah, I think it's like I think that's like one of the bigger differences that you guys see in terms of like, the NFL and real life. Or excuse me, the NFL. Oh, I thought Ryan Neal was going to be able to get there. That's a huge difference you see between the NFL and Madden. It's just like how pressure is schemed up. It's hard, as a offensive player, you can't control every single one of your offensive linemen like you can in the NFL. So it just, allows for those things of a free rusher being able to come in
Well,
easier.
yeah, I mean the biggest thing is in Madden, the
Hmm.
way you would scheme pressure is obviously gonna have a glitch or something that is
Yeah.
just um, like abhorrent about like a gap system or something that
Hmm.
you're I mean it just doesn't make sense. Like in terms of like fundamentally getting pressure in Madden versus getting pressure in real life is in real life you can do so many different things to get pressure with three, four, and five guys. Like
Hmm.
exotic pressure in the NFL. I mean, when you're blitzing, you're not usually not blitzing more than five guys, and you could send a corner from standing out way outside the tight end, loop them into the C gap, or you can take the right end in a five tech and shove them into the guard and try to get your DT free. You can just do so many different things to like abuse those linemen. Just like offensive linemen have so many different ways that they can pick up pass
Hmm.
protection and different ways to pass guys off. Where in Madden,
It's a much
you don't
watered
have a
down version
yeah,
of
you
that.
don't have that all those tools on offense, but neither do you do on defense.
Hmm.
So you're really just trying to somehow manipulate like the numbers game to get an advantage in the blocking. Like that's all you're doing. It's unless of course you have a glitch.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and that's pretty much just the game.
Yeah, no, that's like couldn't have said it better myself right there. For anybody that has probably been listening to Nico talk here, free the Penguins talk here, you probably are noticing that he has a lot of football knowledge, and he's probably one of the more knowledgeable just like fans of like football, and in terms of like him and playing. He did play football. I don't personally have a football background, but he does understand a lot about football. He's always watching and keeping up with anything in terms of the NFL. He's just like a really big football fan. And Nico, is that also why you got into Madden, was just because of how big of a football fan you were?
Yeah, so I mean, I did love football and I did play football, excuse me.
Hmm.
But I wasn't very good.
Yeah.
I played in high school. I started. I was all right. But I
Hmm.
wasn't very good. And I'm 5'8", 190 pounds,
Hmm.
and I wasn't gonna go play in anything collegiately. Not only because of my size, but I just wasn't very good. So the next feasible thing was Madden.
Hmm.
And I love football. So I started playing Madden because how much I love football and um like for better or worse, like here I am. And though Madden isn't exactly football,
Hmm.
I definitely still enjoy it. And I mean, I nothing. My love for football definitely hasn't died down at all.
Yeah, I think it just gives like a different way of being able to compete through football, which I think is like one of the things that like I like about it is that like for me personally, like I was always playing soccer, and I never had actually like the opportunity to play football, but I always really liked it. It just kind of gives me like that opportunity of being able to play football that I might have not had if Madden wasn't a thing. Come on, Russ. Russ,
Woo!
move those
Russ Will.
chains, Russ. He's back to full health.
That's a crazy stamina or stamina spin.
It's
It's a crazy
crazy spin.
stamina. Yeah, that's a crazy spin.
But yeah, would you also say that, just playing football, would you consider yourself like a naturally like competitive person to like you're just like a person that like likes to compete too?
Not at all. I don't care. Like I really just don't care. In terms of which is weird because I played sports. I played sports my whole life.
Hmm.
I mean, now I'm 20, so I haven't played since high school. Like it's we're 2.5 years from, but most of my life I played sports. And like I played in like I played baseball when I was young. I played like little league up until high school. Then I played football when I got to high school. But I never cared really about competing. I enjoyed the sport and I wanted to
Hmm.
win because my teammates wanted to win, and that is the goal of the game. But in terms of compete, I don't. I really it's the craziest thing. I'm like, and some people might even say like you're a loser. Like you win. I just don't care. Like it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And like winning or losing, I just do it because Madden is a little different. It's more so a job, but in terms of like sports, I did it because I enjoyed it.
Ooh.
Like I
Yeah.
really just loved football.
No, that totally makes sense. For me, I will say I'm a little bit different. I just do genuinely love competing. When I couldn't play soccer anymore, I just needed like something to compete in, and like that Madden like outlet for me was definitely like something that was like just like super super nice to have. Oh, get out, Carson! I need Carson to get out there. But yeah, for me, I'm just somebody that like always likes to compete. I'm just like a big fan of always like needing to compete. And like Madden for me at like the point I am at my life and everything is like the thing I can like stay competitive at. Oh my goodness. They could play. Nope.
Isaiah.
Nope. They could play Russ. No, I tried. I'll take the blame for that. I tried to do it just a little bit too much there with Russ. I probably should have just thrown the ball away there. I thought Russ was about to make an insane play though. What play do I like here? Hmm. I will say I don't really have a ton of plays for this situation. I think this is.
25. I gave up a crosser.
Oh, I will end up
All
taking
right.
kicking here. Down six. Definitely have to make this a two-score game. No real question about this specifically. And you go, one of the big differences about like I think in terms of like Madden, in terms of like the NFL too, is just like the aggressiveness on fourth down too. I don't know if you would agree with that too, but I think when you look at like a Madden player, their percentage of going for a on fourth down, I would almost say that you're almost always going for it on fourth down unless it's like a situation like I was just in, or if you're in like probably like a fourth and like 20 or like a fourth and 25. Even like most Madden players think like a fourth and 15 is a down that they should be getting like, or they should be picking up the first down on.
Um, yeah, like I don't think there's ever going to be a situation other than like game script like that I'm not going for it. It would have to be a really really wild like down and distance for me to like consider punting.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd have to be talking like fourth and like 30. Um, so yeah, I such you just have less possession when you have less possessions in a game and there's just less time. You're playing a third of the time, then yeah, you're definitely just gonna go for it. That
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah, and I think
that's the
I forget exactly like what exactly it is. I think like the average NFL game, I want to say it's like around I want to say it's like around 11 to 13 possessions. Don't actually quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure, but I remember like reading into this like a while ago because I was just interested in it. As you guys see, Al Woods with his, or that's actually Puna Ford, excuse me, with the second sack
for
of the day there. But I think when it comes to Madden, I think there's Madden games where I've seen players only have like three possessions in a game, like four possessions in a game. And don't get me wrong, that is on the lower end of everything. But I think you guys, as Ryan Neal gets his
Ryan
second
Neal
pick
again.
of the day to seal this one out, we are going to be able to run this out here. But I think that's just like such an important thing. When you think about, okay, you have like 4 to 5 possessions in a Madden game, that's a realistic result of what could happen in the game. You have to be capitalizing and getting seven on most of those drives to put yourself in a good position to win. Um, and yeah, so that's why I think, another big reason why Madden players are just so much more aggressive than NFL players, and it is also a little bit more Madden dependent. If it's like an easier defensive Madden, you will see people punt the ball, but in a game like this where it's just so easy to pass, you really want to be able to you really want to be able to score every single drive you have the ball. With that being said, the Seahawks do win 17-8. And actually talking about that, that was a pretty overall, low possession game. I actually only had the ball 3 times in that game myself on offense. But with that being said, if you guys do enjoy these videos, make sure to like and comment and also subscribe down below. And specifically what to comment, Nico, is that we always leave our predictions for the weekend in terms of the score. Now, for me personally, I predicted the Seahawks to win every single week so far this year. So we would be 9-0 if my predictions
It
were right.
hasn't gone. It hasn't gone
And
well.
it hasn't gone well. And if there's one week where the Seahawks could lose, it would be to the Cardinals. So I'm gonna try to do some like reverse psychology. I'm actually gonna say the Cardinals are gonna end up blowing out the Seahawks 42-7 in goals that it's reverse psychology, and the Seahawks will end up
And
winning.
you are just the curse.
Yes, and I am just the curse. What is your prediction though for this
I
weekend?
think the Cardinals probably win like
Mhm.
31-24.
31-24. And I will say, if I was to come up with a score prediction, would probably be around that scoring myself. But with that being said, Nico, Free the Penguins, Chicharito, whatever you do go by, I really do appreciate you a ton for being on here for Week 11. And with that being said, I will see you guys all next time.